welcome to the second episode of Humanitarian Watch, a podcast produced by ReFOCUS Media Labs as part of our Fractured podcast. Hope you're all having a good day, because certain Taliban officials do not. So we're starting with some uplifting information. International Criminal Court seeks warrants for Taliban leaders for gender-based crimes. Awesome that something is finally happening. It took them quite a lot. They took over in 2021. Long time. And it is not for the whole leadership. It's only for two individuals.
As a start.
Supreme leader of the Taliban. Okay, you need to help me.
All right. Where are we? Haybatullah Akhundzada, and the Chief Justice of the Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan, Abdul Hakim Haqqani.
Okay, we decided before we went live that I am not able to pronounce Farsi names. Okay, so they both, as the International Criminal Court says, bear criminal responsibility for the crime against humanity of persecution on gender grounds. And the main prosecutor says that this is the beginning, that they will investigate to see if other leaders can be also put in front of the court. The important thing here is that the warrant is not on yet. So it still has to be approved by a judge, but it's a start, right?
I read in the Guardian, they say, if warrants are authorized, the Netherlands-based court does not have its own enforcement mechanism and has relied on the support of signatory countries to make arrests.
This is like this for everybody. This is like, ICC also send those warrants for Vladimir Putin, for Netanyahu, right? And again, this is up to the member states that signed the treaty on ICC to help capture them.
This is maybe worse because the Taliban are not going to the United States or
they're
Europe.
Not going anywhere, and nobody
to Qatar,
goes there.
To Emirates, maybe Saudi Arabia to get some money. Or maybe
they're not recognized by any country in the world. Only China, Russia, and Pakistan. They have their embassies in Kabul, but basically they're not moving outside the country much. So the probability that they will be arrested is extremely low, unless there have been those spy actions that would kidnap certain war criminals and brought them to The Hague. But okay, at least there is something, right? There has been no declaration from any of the big judicial organizations about that. And we spoke about why they should be brought to justice a lot in the previous episode. All the laws that basically ban women from any public life, right? So
There's
they totally deserve it. So,
and it's a lot of pressure, but it has to be done something by the world, because there's going to be the next Iran. And it's going to be worse than Iran. And imagine Iran is now 40 years. In that hell. Imagine Afghanistan 40 years. Imagine a woman, maybe if you meet a woman in 40 years and you tell her that someone stopped you, I don't know, build something on your wall for the window, she's like, that's okay, because maybe in 40 years it's going to be like worse. So that's my fear. It's going to become another Iran there, and worse than Iran, because they are actually worse.
I think it is, because I honestly, I think that there isn't a worse place in the world to live in as a woman than Afghanistan at the moment. Seriously. It's everything that the Taliban do, plus the humanitarian crisis. You have basically no opportunities in this country. And if you are now a teenager or a young woman who basically only knows how it was when the Americans were there, you are not used to this treatment, right? So we know that whoever can escapes, mostly to Pakistan. UNHCR is there, but they put people on lists to be resettled, but there's an issue with this. And with this, we can go to our second topic.
Mr. Trump. Every time something new, every time it's worse. So he has his first day in office. He has where are my notes? He has signed executive order suspension of the program USRAP, the U.S. Refugee Admission Program, which processes refugees for resettlement in the country starting on January 27.
Yeah.
All applications and arrivals through the program have likewise been suspended. Affects Afghanistan because many Afghans, many helped the U.S. Army to fight Taliban, and now they are on the run. Estimates, they are saying 15,000 in Pakistan. I say more. Maybe those are just the one they... But there are many thousands of them that their visas were approved.
Yes.
So they were like coming, but he said no, 27. Ready, and they have been waiting for years because of the US bureaucracy there. And I don't know why you do something to someone who helped you. And these people risk everything. It's not that you brought an American and he was fighting there. No, these people, they have their families there. So if someone is working with you as an interpreter, he is risking his family's life. So now he doesn't have the right to go. And they promised them. And now he comes, he signs it, and everybody now is in chaos because they were waiting for this to go.
It's absolutely terrifying because, people were, as you said, they were ready to go. The program was in place, and US has those quotas every year, how many refugees and migrants they can admit, and this has been completely stopped. And now the question is, what's going to follow? So most of the people are still in UNHCR settings, some kind of camps or urban settings, but they are in suspension, right? None of them probably works, or very few work. They are just getting ready to be transferred. And I saw how big this basically pile of papers that you have to fill out to go to the US is. It's gigantic. So it's like this. And you have to go through so many different type of tests. They basically scan you for any diseases, documents. You really have to prove so well that you worked with the Americans, that you have any claim for that.
People left when the Taliban took over. They didn't have the time to gather all my CV. I worked with this. No, they just ran away. So made it so difficult for them, the bureaucracy there to go. And now it's suspension. And I also read that the Ukrainians also are affected by this. Because it's for everyone.
Because this is for everyone.
But we're just talking about who are really, I don't know. So Afghans and Ukrainians are in this. Oh my God,
Well, Mr. Trump is bringing more news to the table because he is just getting ready, or he just announced that they will put 30,000, if I'm not mistaken, of beds into Guantanamo. So in the center where they used to or still are torturing people as potential terrorists. So they said that they are going to transfer 30,000 refugees who are now in US to this area. So he's claiming that it's going to be predominantly people with criminal past. But in those situations, I always wonder, what does criminal past mean? Is this somebody who actually really murdered somebody, or is this somebody who was stopped on the way for not having the right documents, who got fine for parking, for anything? Because if you're a refugee, you know that this is very sensitive, and this can be a felony just because you are in this underprivileged position, because you have no means to defend yourself, right?
I'm afraid that, and I know it's gonna happen, I hope it doesn't happen, that crossing the border is a crime now. With all the things we are seeing now. So because I was talking with Douglas when he said Germany stopped the people claiming asylum, and I told him, when do you think Europe will start using violence? And it would be like, hey, it's a crime, because now they are building it in people's minds. It's a crime, immigrants, and then they're gonna be illegal aliens, and then you have to shoot them.
Okay,
because
so Europe is already using violence, not on a massive scale, and not very officially, right? So
but
all the
when it's going to be like an order, hey, if you cross, you shoot. So with all this we're seeing, and the left wings and Trump.
I can totally imagine this happening in the States.
With the robots that we talked about in the episodes? Yeah.
Yes,
it's
yes,
be
absolutely. It's
yeah.
going to be very fortified border. Okay, moving to the third topic of the day. Inhuman conditions in unaccompanied minor safe zones on Samos. So we got this information from Human Rights Legal Project, which is an organization based on Samos, and as the name says, they are predominantly lawyers fighting for human rights and refugee rights. And they're reporting that the conditions for unaccompanied minors, so kids who came here without any parent or guardian, are absolutely terrifying. So most of the kids are staying in 3 islands, Samos, Leros, and Kos. And they've been monitoring Samos, saying that in the camp, first of all, there's a safe zone. It's called a safe zone, meaning all the unaccompanied minors, as well as sometimes single women, they are being put in different areas so that they are not mixing with with the rest of the population, because potentially they are vulnerable, something can be happening to them, right? So they are called safe zones, but
they don't have extra security or something.
No, they don't have extra, like there's a fence, there's an extra fence, right? So this is the only thing. So in those safe zones, on Samos, the one, is designed to accommodate 200 children, and currently it's hosting 485 unaccompanied minors. So you already see what is happening there, and most of them are lacking shoes, basic things, adequate clothing to this temperature right now. We got from Human Rights Legal Project some footage from the camp, so whoever is watching us, and you can watch us on YouTube and Spotify, will see them now. They are saying that the main issues on Samos are this inadequate accommodation, so children sleeping predominantly on the floor, severe shortage in hygienic products such as soap, toothpaste, cleaning products, lack of appointed guardians. Apparently, almost nobody is taking care of them. And I know that this is a huge problem in most of those people, because I met wonderful people who were working in those safe zones, and they were absolutely burned out and exhausted, because
it's too much for them.
This is too
you give
much.
Them so many kids.
And you give them kids and they care, and then there are barely few of them. So they work after hours to do anything and provide some care, but there's only this much you can do as one human being, right? Other thing, lack of access to education, of course, for those kids, and health services. And of course, detention of minors in those safe zones for more than 100 days, which should not be happening. So the big issue here also is that most of those unaccompanied minors come as like pretty traumatized kids, right? After crossing the borders and
need extra care. I don't know. And this is worse because even in Athens, the accompanied minors here are not being treated really well. Okay, they are put in a house and stuff, but I know because someone got hurt. I know he's a accompanied minor, and his social worker came after 2 hours. And he was calling, and nobody was taking care of him. And when he goes to do some paperwork or stuff, always pushing to the psychologist. So she comes, that's not her work. So even the ones that are here are not being taken care of. What about putting 400 person there? And I'm going to read some testimonials. Amir, this was in the document they sent. He says, they have given each person a blanket, and you can either use it to sleep or to cover yourself up. Some people even sleep on the tables, and in the pictures they show them, in the restaurants. Another one says, I haven't had a bath for 4 days. And when there is water, it is very cold. Hot water is not always available. We wait for days to take a bath and clean up. We can't do anything to save water. They tell me to go to the information office and file a complaint. This is a kid. It's a kid. They say they will fix it, but they don't do anything. What are you giving them, idea of Europe? As if, because this is the same countries they came from. Here just, okay, the difference here, you can file a paper. Well, thank you so much. I crossed all the way so I can file a paper, and you do shit.
I think we have to look at the bigger picture here, that it's not a new situation that happened to Greece yesterday. the crisis is happening now since basically 2014-15, and Greece had time to prepare for accommodating more people, and they have not done much in this regard. At the very beginning, 2016-17, a little bit, yes, but then they decided that the best strategy here is to just show people how horrible it is in this country, so that they are basically leaving and starting their life somewhere else, or at least applying for asylum somewhere else. So nothing has been done really, and if there are some accusations, which I absolutely believe that this is happening in more camps than just Samos. They are for sure true and can be backed up. But my problem is that the camp management, very frequently, they are so under-resourced, understaffed, and it's hard for them to do anything. They're not getting support from Athens, from the authorities. So we're happy to report on the issue, and but I have zero hope that something is going to change, because they don't care about this issue. They don't care that even if there is massive news about the situation, not anymore.
Because it's a bigger scale. Even they don't care about anybody, not only about them. So and you said Greece has time, but they had money also. And I'm not saying Greek money. No, money from the European Union. You were paid to give these kids education, safe place. We were talking with Bill. The first thing is heal the trauma. And now he's have a blanket and what? And these kids, and then you blame them if they do something bad, or you just accuse them of stuff, like it happened in Samos when they were, they were accused of burning the stuff. So the whole camp. So I don't know, really, it's too much for the kids. And I don't know the solution, because they asked for the construction of further CCAS in Greece to stop and to close these ones. So I don't know. What is the model for this?
Well, the issue here is that the unaccompanied minors should stay in the camps, the RIGs or CCAC, as they're being called, just for the necessary time period. So predominantly for registration. They should be moved to other accommodation facilities immediately when it's possible. Now, are there any other places right now? I don't think there's somebody really paying attention to this. Nobody's really monitoring the situation of unaccompanied minors to this scale. Again, camps understaffed and under-resourced. So tough situation.
That's the plan for Greece. So Congo, we had Lala. She's from Democratic Republic of Congo, and imagine, since 2025 starts, 500 people were displaced. 500,000 people, 500,000 people from the east region. It's called Goma, from Congo. It's the border of Rwanda. And because a rebellion group are fighting the government there, I was digging to see what is the origin of the conflict. So this group called M23, March 23, they were created in the settlement of Agreement 2009. And their demands back then was a lot of demands. One of them is to put more Tutsi people in the army. And they said, you haven't done it, so we're going to, like an invasion, but they were Congolese. The issue is now Congo is accusing Rwanda, and I'm afraid it's going to be a war. And they said we reported many Rwandan soldiers, and also many people, these 500,000, some of them, they went to Rwanda. This is last year, 2024, 7.2 million were displaced in Congo. 7.2. And in 1 month, because I was like, how is it 7.2 last year? In this month, in January 27, it was 500. This is reported by UNHCR, 500,000. And the issue is because Congo has a lot of natural resources, so Ngoma is a place where, these are why fighting for, and the UN are calling it, hey guys, as if, hey, stop it, but you don't understand the issue. These are armed forces. This should be something else to be done there. I don't know.
So the big thing here is that UNHCR was there and UN forces as such, but they said it themselves that there's not much they can do against this really armed group. So M23 was basically crossing certain areas without almost any resistance. So at some point, the Congolese government said, like, okay, if you are basically not helping us at all, you're useless, maybe somebody else should do it. And for a while, they've been using some mercenaries, Romanian ones, actually. There has been a big scandal recently in Romania because of the elections, and the main guy who created this group was actually involved in it as well. So Congo said, like, maybe let's part our ways. And now they're talking to the Wagner's group, right? The African Corps, it's called now, right?
The best replacement. Oh my God.
Yes.
Wagner group.
Yeah,
that's
because
worse.
They have like their army is so weak they cannot really fight those groups, and Rwanda's claiming that they have a right to do it, to cross to Congo, because armed groups are attacking them, and it's back and forth, right? And this is this self-fulfilling prophecy. You think somebody is attacking you, so you're sending somebody back. People are getting more angry at you and building those negative feelings, so they will also, get engaged as well, and the circle is closed. The thing here is that, like, there's gigantic Congo on one side, and there's a pretty small Rwanda compared to it, right? But still, Rwanda is allowing itself to do whatever they want. And recently, the M23 took over one of the largest, also one of the largest mines of rare earth minerals.
They have Cabot, and they have something else.
Congo is so rich in those minerals that are so crucial for development and the new technologies, right? And this is crazy that this country could be so rich right now, given how much cobalt, for example, we need just for electric cars, for our cell phones, and so on. And they're getting almost nothing of it. Half of this is exploited by Chinese. The rest is vanishing somewhere in corruption, and then now rebels are taking over part of it.
And Russia will get involved, and
exactly.
Oh my God! And they want to keep the conflict so they can have their way and take everything, and people are just focusing on fighting. The Congolese people are afraid, but also people from Rwanda, because they remember the genocide, 1994. Yes. So that's in their minds, it's ticking, like, oh my God,
it's happening.
In their mind, it's already happening. What the hell is going to happen? Because Congo is saying, you did it, and they are seeing the tension rise, and a war, oh my God. And it's involved with the Hutu and the Tutsi. That's just, for them, it's, mental torture.
Absolutely. Yep. So we're basically expecting more and more people to be internally displaced.
In 1 month, 500,000?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Right. Some people are trying to escape, but there's like not really a place to escape.
Where?
From
Even
there.
if you escape, it's, of course, this displacement is inside their homes, but inside the country, but it's never be your home. It's like your home. You're still going to be a refugee in your own home, like Bill said. That's, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, sad topic to end with, but this is it, what we had for you today. Thank you very much, and we will see you very soon for the next bunch of information from the humanitarian world.
Take care.